from the floor in the second half for the Rockets, who lose 104-92. So now you said you were going to translate what Kevin McHale was saying. It was pretty clear.
You know, Ernie, he talks about offense. There's going to be games where you don't shoot the ball well. They had a 14-point lead at halftime, a 14-point lead against a depleted Oklahoma City team. You can't come out there and just talk about offense. When you get outscored, they were up 14, they lost by 12. They got outscored by 26 points. That's just not all offense. That's just not all offense. They're not a good defensive team. You know, me and Kenny joke around in the back. I don't think they're good on the perimeter. I don't think they're good enough on the perimeter to be a legit championship team. And it's not like Dwight Howard as a person. He's a good player. He's not a great player. Me and Shaq been arguing for the last few years because I used to think he was.
Has he gone from great to good?
No.
He's never been a great player.
I thought he was a great player, but that was.
That's what I was asking you.
He was a great player. That was a perfect situation for him in Orlando. They built the entire team around him. Turkoglu played well also. Some other guys played well.
Rashard
Lewis, those guys played well. But that's a little lightweight stuff. Now, when you start building those, when you become a really good player, the expectations change. And you know, we talk about whether he could handle the heat in L.A. I don't know that. I don't blame that. And let me say, I want to make this clear. I think he's a very good player. I don't think he's ever going to be a great, great player where you can build your team around him. He's got to be a complementary player.
Meantime,
that was a powerful statement that, you know, this about Dwight Howard, meaning everyone in the league has attempted or think that they can build a franchise around him. And to see, and I just want to kind of dwell a little bit more in, what are the two or three things that are missing that you thought was there?
I thought he was going to get better. He plays exactly right now the way he did play. Because, Ernie, we had this conversation. Remember we were covering the Eastern Conference Finals when they lost to the Lakers? Mm-hmm. You asked me how good Dwight Howard, me and Kenny talked about it. We said, he's about at 50%. I assumed he was going to keep getting better. Now we're 5 years later. He has not gotten better as a player.
And in your mind, he's gotten worse.
He hasn't gotten worse. He just hadn't gotten better. The expectations.
But I thought when he went from great to good.
Well, I want to clarify that. He's a very good player, but I thought by now he would be a great player.
Right.
And like I say, he to me is the same player. I don't think you can build your team around him. Like, he can be a really good, listen, there are a lot of really good players in this league. But I'm talking about when you're a franchise player, you have a legit shot to win the championship or to go deep in the playoffs every year. And he needs a lot of help. He needs a lot of help to get deep in the playoffs.
Yeah, the one thing I was going to say and add on, and that's what I was saying, Ernie, I thought that when he clarified that the improvement, because you come into the league with a certain expectation, and then when you reach that expectation, now there comes another expectation upon that. And Charles, I think, and even myself now is starting to believe he hasn't reached that second expectation. He stayed where he was, which was really good. But it isn't retire your jersey in every place you ever played good.
Now, if I'm Dwight Howard, I'm sitting here, what would your message be to me as a player in the NBA, from the most dominant guy to Dwight Howard? What would you say to him?
First thing I would say is keep it simple. You know, he does himself a disservice. When you're 7'1" and you can jump 50 feet, that's why I put 28-15 on him. I was there at the dunk contest. He dunked it and he flew. I was like, he's the highest jumping big man I've ever seen in my life. That's why I say he can do 28. And it's easy. I broke it down for him last year. 7 points a quarter. I agree with a little bit with Shaq, but then I disagree a little bit because he can be a great player, but it's up to him. You just have to, you know, sometime change your ways. I didn't have all the moves that Alonzo had or Christian Laettner had, but I found a way to get my 28 points a quarter. And that's by, first of all, if you're bigger and stronger than everybody, you got to dominate. I hate when he runs down the court and then leaves that to go run the pick and roll. Don't do that. And then, you know, he gets the ball and he faces up. We all know what he's going to do. Georgetown left, go right, and that stupid run and jump hook. You work with Akeem, you work with Mikal. I mean, but you just have, and then you have to want it. You have to want it. You have to say, you know what, I want it. I don't care what nobody say. I'm going out and take it. Again, I didn't have a lot of fundamental moves, but I was going to give you 28 some way, somehow.
And let me tell you something. I got to say, I've said that Kevin McHale's the best player I played with. I thought Kevin McHale would have a huge effect on Dwight Howard. And I still see that awful left-handed flipper, I call it.
Running hook. I hate that
flipper
running
thing. And I was like, because I thought, like I say, I don't think, listen, Akeem Olajuwon was unbelievable, but I don't think you can teach that stuff. I think his stuff is, like when Kobe and LeBron went and worked with Akeem.
No, you can teach it.
No, but I'm saying I don't think you can teach that shake thing. I think Akeem's foot movement was so good. I think it's a guard thing. His feet were that good. But as far as a big guy with jump hooks, up and unders and things, Kevin McHale's the best. Kevin McHale and Tim Duncan are the two best I've ever seen. Kevin McHale's the best I ever played against. And I thought he'd have a huge effect on Dwight Howard. He worked with him all summer. Season's been going on for 3 months now. I still see that ugly left-handed flipper thing.
That dumb running hook.
104 to 92.